based on your KT experience. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Awesome. And we may or may not use some of these little clips for some marketing stuff down the road. Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. You're so handsome. I mean, we got back in the fraternity, this is semi embarrassing. Were you in a fraternity in college?
I have the unfortunate pleasure of being part of one as well. Yes.
So I don't know about you, but when it came to Rush, you had like your good looking guys who you wanted to meet prospective new members, and you called those guys, we call them face guys. And if you weren't a good looking guy, you had to go in this room and we are like, oh, you're going in the war room and you're doing dead on these guys and you're looking up their Facebook profiles and things like that. But if you're a good looking guy, you're a face guy, you need to get out in front in the front lines.
Yeah. That's great.
Matthew, you're a face guy, okay? You're a face guy.
Face guy.
All right.
I bet you were a face guy yourself. That's great.
Matthew, 16 weeks all the way through. What kind of wins, what kind of things have you noticed in the KT program?
I mean, I remember signing on and just kind of like being super hesitant, just like, oh my God, I did not know if I was going to be able to do it, like commit, make it through all the way, especially when it came to the nutrition aspect. And I think one of the things that surprised me most was, this sort of change in myself to be able to commit and follow something. It was simple. You guys definitely have a really methodical onboarding that helps with that. When I've encountered similar programs in the past or have tried to tackle this in the past, like everything kind of comes on so fast and it can kind of be overwhelming, but breaking it down over those first several weeks into digestible chunks and building habits from the ground up in a way was really great. So that's one kind of thing that I kind of hope to take away from this and apply to other aspects of my life too. It's kind of like not having to be an expert from day one. Let's tackle some of these fundamental things and like get good at those and build from there. So check on that. And then some of like the stuff that you guys promise straight out of the box, just like dropping weight, getting strong. I remember looking at when I first got my 24 kg bell, that 53 pounder, right? Some time ago before I started this. And that was my 2-hand swinging bell. And like you would see guys on YouTube putting up a Turkish get up with that. And I would just be like, wow, that's fucking heavy. I'm never going to be able to do that. I just hit a quad on that yesterday on both sides. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Like when I started this program, I had an inkling that might be something I'd be able to do. And my goal for the end of 16 weeks is maybe I could put up, a single on that 32 kg. I hit that 2 weeks ago at this point, I'm now looking at that 40 kg bell, just like, it's not too out of the realm of possibility that in the very near future, I can be putting that over my head. And for some reason, that's like now really exciting to me.
Yeah.
But it's exciting because I definitely feel that difference in, not just like your strength while you're working out, but we spoke about this a few weeks ago, just like I can stand up straighter now. I sit up straighter. I like you feel a different sense of strength when you walk and bend down. And, your life is definitely changed by strength. Period. Didn't know that before, didn't know in all my years of working out before this, didn't know what like actually getting strong and being and feeling strong meant. It's like you work out and you start working out in college just because like you want to look decent with your shirt off for spring break. But like you start with that as the foundation of your your physical fitness knowledge, and that does not kind of translate into anything meaningful in your life long term. This does.
Yeah.
And then like kind of the third thing, and maybe the most obvious one, but the one that I've tried to put out of my head for the longest because I didn't want to hold myself to any kind of expectations is just kind of like the physical body composition changes, right? I didn't want to build up any hopes that like I was going to lose weight and, slim down, all that kind of stuff. Like you do. I just did. Right. So I guess I didn't come in with a ton of weight to lose. I was a bit puffy when I started, but I'm definitely down, I think on my best day, down 12 pounds from start of the program, definitely visible changes in just muscle definition and all of that overall. So that's exciting. You just sort of like feel more, you feel healthy, you feel more confident, especially in like what I do. Working in a corporate job and you're building relationships and talking to people and presenting all the time. You just want to kind of feel comfortable in your skin. So that's like not even a thought. It's not even a distraction while you're doing the rest of your work. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's meaningful to other people too, but that was something that's meaningful to me.
I love that. I love that, Matthew.
Yeah.
Prior to KT, what were some of your frustrations or obstacles in regards to health, fitness, nutrition?
I just didn't know what to do. Like there's an overwhelming amount of information just in everything now. And it's almost like the more time, this is gonna, it sounds kind of obvious now, but the more time you spend on YouTube or Instagram, just going video after video, post after post about like, the 7 best exercises you should do to do X, Y, Z now. It's like there's a new video or article about that like every day, and it's something different. Like you should be asking yourself, wait a second, how did the 7 best things change overnight?
Yeah.
Right. And like you do that and you find all this advice and all this information, and you think you can kind of concoct these programs on your own. I'm like, sure, maybe you can, but I don't have any prior experience in this. I don't have any formal education in it,
Yeah.
And this that was a big point of frustration. Is just never knowing what to do, not getting the results, and like for like, trying after 4, 5, 6 weeks, and that being that.
Love that, Matthew. Yeah. So the plan is key. Having the things in place, even for experienced coaches, even for myself. I don't want to have to think about what I need to do. I just want to be able to see it. Okay, that's what I'm doing for today. Execute, move forward.
Yeah.
Before you jumped on, Matthew, what was like the thing that pushed you over the edge and got you to invest in yourself in the KT program in the very beginning?
I had come off of like, let's see. So when did I join? In November. My daughter was born in March. So like, having a 5, 6 month old at that point and coming off of like a year prior of just like doing everything I could, like knowing my life was going to be turned upside down. And yeah, I've always been someone who's exercised and, kept up with running and a little bit of weightlifting and all this kind of stuff. But like, not only just felt like I wasn't making progress, but felt like my progress was actually going down. Like I was just not doing a good job at all. It was happening in the reverse direction. I had tried like intermittent fasting in that previous year, as we had moved somewhere that made my commute longer, so less time to work out. And I thought that would, be a sustainable thing that I could do. And then, after my kid was born and just realizing that, you're dedicating all this time now to this little human, you're not getting any of it back. And if you don't have like the right sort of practices in place, then I was continuing in that downward spiral, no matter how much content I was consuming about the right plans that I should be making, or like trying to do it on my own. It's like, okay, enough is enough. And it was actually, I think I was in one of those moments where I was like looking for the next workout or like thing to do, just like desperate, like, oh, I've got 20 minutes coming up. Like, what should I do? and I was hit with one of like Grant's posts,
Mhm.
and he probably was like experimenting, and it was like, hey, any like dads out there who are trying to like work out busy, and I fully went like hook, line, and sinker, just like yes.
Yeah, me.
And it was that he was like, we're taking out the guesswork, we're doing this, like if you just, if you want to be healthy and strong and all these things. And I was like, fuck it, let's just, I'll shoot out a message doesn't cost anything.
No, no, it doesn't. Matthew, if you're talking to a buddy who's on the fence about joining KT, what would you say to him?
Probably that, this was the best and easiest thing that I could have spent my time and money doing over the last 16 weeks. You know, I think if they were, whether they were in a similar spot or not, just kind of knowing that there's a simple program with support in place, that you can just chip away at day to day makes it totally worth it.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic, Matthew. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
anytime.